it's Lauren, and in today's video I will be showing you how I created this cute card using the newly released Mummy Wrap background stencil and Spooktacular Cupcake stamp set and coordinating die set. So jumping right in, I started off with a cream colored cardstock panel. Then I secured my Mummy Wrap stencil over top, and I created some masks for the two truffles that are included in the Spooktacular Cupcake stamp set, and I used the coordinating dies for those shapes and masking paper to create, I think, 5 or 6 truffles. And I tucked those in behind the stencil lines, the lines of the stencils, going different directions, because I was really kind of got the idea from ancient Egyptian mummies, how when they wrapped mummies, they would tuck little amulets in the mummy wrappings. And these amulets were supposed to do things for them in the afterlife and be useful to them. So when I saw the Mummy Wrap stencil and the sweet Spooktacular cupcakes, these little truffles, I thought, what a great idea to kind of tuck those truffles into the mummy wrappings, because who doesn't want to have chocolate in the afterlife? You got to bring chocolate. So I did that, inspired by the ancient Egyptian mummies. And so you'll see me here, I'm just blending some spun sugar over top of my stencil, and not really using heavy hand. I want it kind of a soft pink color, and that's what I love about the spun sugar. It gives just a really pretty soft pink, and I love it combined with cream. I think it gives it a really pretty and classy, real feminine look, and that's what I was going for Halloween, because my Halloweens, being with a house full of boys, have always been very horror oriented. So I really wanted to go really pretty and cute and feminine for this card. So after I had ink blended, I took off all of the masks, and then here I realized that I needed to cover up the bottom parts of those truffles. So along the white line, or the cream colored lines, you'll see me here, those little strips of washi tape. So what I did was I went along the line, and sorry, I forgot to videotape. I thought I was taping it, but I wasn't recording. So what I did was I lined up the washi with the lines, and then I stamped all of the truffles in the empty areas that the masks left. So the two shapes, one of the shapes has little pearls on the top, so I just lined up that stamp in all the shapes that had the little bumps at the top, and then the other one has kind of like mummy wraps around it. So again, I just lined up that one in the kind of smooth truffle shape, and I stamped those with using like a no line coloring, which is a fade out ink that you can get, that you stamp it and it leaves a very faint, you can see here, just a little bit of a color that you can use as a guide when you're coloring. But when it's covered with your color, you can use colored pencils, or you could use Copics, whatever your coloring choice is. That fade out ink will kind of blend right into your color, so you don't have that stark line. And I really wanted that look for my card, because I wanted it to be, just soft and pretty. And you'll see here the one with the little pearls on top. I'm doing those pearls in like a darker pink, and then the chocolate is like a really creamy chocolate. And then the one with the mummy wraps is a little darker chocolate that I'm doing. And I've really sped up this video because watching me ink blend and watching me color isn't too exciting. And then a little trick that I have learned with washi tape, because sometimes I would find that some washi tapes are a little stickier than others. And if you peel it off, it can sometimes rip the paper underneath, depending on what kind of paper you're using. So a little trick, if you find that your washi tape is sticking a little more than you want it to and you're concerned about it ripping your paper, just heat up the washi tape a little bit on the top with your heat gun. You don't want to hold that heat gun right on the washi tape, but just warm it up a little bit, and that warming will loosen up the adhesive that's on the tape to make it much easier to pull it off. So the risk of damaging your paper that you've just spent so long coloring is minimized. And then once I have finished all my coloring, I remove those pieces of washi, and then I also trim down my paper. And what's nice about doing it in a 6x6, you can choose, because my card is going to be A2 size, so it's going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So when I do it this size, yes, it takes a little bit longer to do, but then you can choose when you cut it down what area you want to use. So if I wanted more of the left-hand side or more of the right-hand side, you can pick the best spots. And then I stamped out onto another piece of cream colored cardstock the 2 truffles, and at first I had them positioned backwards on my MISTI, so I got a blob, and then I realized, oops, so I put them the right way and stamped them out, and I only ended up using the truffle with the pearl. And then I also stamped out this adorable, I felt that this sentiment went so well with my card. You're so cute, you're so sweet, it's scary. I thought that would work perfectly with my card. And I stamped that using antique linen distress oxide ink. And then I also colored up just that one truffle. I decided I wanted one on the top. And another trick I like to use with coloring, using my colored pencils here, all I did was tested out my colors on my colored cardstock. Whether you're using pencils or Copics or any other coloring medium, I always find it a good idea to try out the color on the colored cardstock that you're using, because sometimes that will alter the final color. And if you start coloring with a shade and it is altered by the color of your paper, that can be a problem. So then I die cut out the sentiment and the truffle, and then I also die cut a couple of plain ones. I think I did 2 extras for each, and I glued them together behind my stamped images and colored image, just so that it would pop up off the panel a little better, to give it a little dimension. And so I used some liquid glue to do that, and then just adhered them all together. And what's nice about the liquid glue is if you don't get it straight, then you can kind of peel it off and redo it. And you'll see I'm trying to figure out where the best position would be for that. And I die cut the panel down using a rectangle die from my stash, and I adhered a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cream colored cardstock to my card base, and then put my panel on there and the sentiment over top. And I ended up off camera using a few of the Hello Sunshine sequins from the Hello Sunshine sequin mix that Possum Stamps has, just to add a little extra bling to the card, to fancy it up a little. And there we go. That is finished, and I love how it turned out. It is cute, and it is Halloweeny, I think, and it is not horror. So thanks for visiting. Don't forget to like and share and come back. Here are some videos that might want to have a look at as well. Thank you. Bye-bye.